JT and Chase back here for another episode of Broad Street and Beyond. This is the pre-Thanksgiving edition. This is before we stuff our faces full of turkey and all the trimmings. And we're back here another week filled of fun and frolic and holiday cheer. And, of course, everything you want to know about Philadelphia sports. Chase, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm sporting my turkey hat today. I'm ready for Turkey Day, my man. I couldn't decide if I wanted the turkey hat or if I just wanted to go normal, but I went with the Friends turkey hat, man.
You look festive. You look fantastic.
Nobody's gonna take me seriously in this thing, are they?
That's okay. We don't want to be too serious here.
That's right.
Except for the first segment we're going to talk about. But anyway, did you come up with 3 questions for me?
Oh, I got 3. I almost forgot about the 3 questions. I'm glad you reminded me of that, man.
Last week it was only a 2. Now give me 3 this time.
I got 3 today, my man.
I want a 3-pack. Let's do it.
First of all, how you doing today, man? It's good to see you, man.
I feel good. I'm ready. I'm ready for Thanksgiving. Ready for some time with the family. Ready for some time off.
Yeah.
Ready to unplug a little bit.
Yeah, I believe that, man. All right, buddy. Here's the first question. If you had to pick a favorite old school venue, would you pick Veterans Stadium or would you pick the Spectrum?
The Spectrum. Yes.
What, the Spectrum over the Vet?
Oh yeah, I saw so many great Flyers games back in the day at the Spectrum, and that was actually the first. I believe that might have been the first live sporting event I went to as a youngster. Yeah, it was at the Spectrum.
Now, you're never going to believe this. I've never seen a game in the Spectrum.
Really?
Never.
Yeah, I saw a Flyers game there when I was 11. I think it was 1987. I saw a Flyers game there at the Spectrum, and there's certain charm to the building. Don't get me wrong, I like the Vet, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm definitely going Spectrum.
That one's a shocker, man. I thought you were going to go with the Vet. All right, man. Your favorite sport to watch?
Probably football.
Okay.
It just seems like I know there's more action in some of the other sports, but there's something about kicking back on the couch and watching football, college football or NFL on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon.
Your favorite spot to eat? Doesn't have to be here in Central PA. It could be anywhere. Favorite spot to eat?
Favorite spot to eat? Oh boy. Let me think. Where do I like to eat?
McDonald's Happy Meals.
McDonald's Happy Meals.
Back in the day.
You know what? I'll go back a little bit. I haven't been there in a little while, but I always enjoy my experience at the Bluebird.
Yeah, Bluebird's a good place. Yeah, good spot, man. Good spot. That's all I got, man. 3 questions.
Okay.
You knocked them out of the park like you always do.
100%. I get an A. Let's do it.
You always give 100%, JT. That's what I like about you, brother.
I always give 100%, like 50% of the time. That's sort of my goal.
Yeah, it's everybody's goal, ain't it?
Yeah. Speaking of giving 100%, 50% of the time, the Philadelphia Eagles, my friend, this past Sunday gave 100% in the first half, and they gave something less than 100% in the second half as they lose to Dallas 24-21. America's game of the week in front of a national TV audience, a game in which they led 21-0, but of course in typical Eagles fashion, even when they're up 21-0, you never quite feel like they had the game,
won,
kind of buttoned up, like they have it on lock, but definitely not the case. Let me just throw out a loaded question in the second half. What was that? What in the world? What in the world did we watch?
I got to take that off.
Take that hat off.
We're getting serious here now, GT.
Get serious.
We're getting serious. What happened in the second? Is that what you're asking me? What happened in the second half?
What did we watch
in general?
What did we watch in the second half on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was 30 years since they wore the Kelly green jerseys on the road. You might as well wait another 30 years until they decide to wear those Kelly green jerseys again. I don't know what took place there. I mean, it's kind of something because the Eagles played in the second half the way the Cowboys played in the first half, and then the Cowboys played the way the Eagles played in the first half. They played that way in the second half. There was no offense. Obviously, we couldn't get the running game again going. I don't know what the deal is there with Saquon Barkley. I don't know if he's waiting too long to find those holes to get going in the backfield, but it just looked like he was completely lost once again. I mean, he had 22 yards rushing in that game. I don't know what the secondary was doing. Me and you probably could have covered anybody better in the secondary, the way they were covering guys in the second half, but I don't know. It was just an absolute embarrassment on the part of the Philadelphia Eagles. Play calling again. I don't know if Patullo is making the adjustments he needs to make. You didn't see that in the second half at all when they started to drag and things got a little ugly in the second half there. And the penalties did not help. When they have 14 penalties for almost 100 yards in that game too.
I think that's one of the troubling things that I think that we overlook a little bit. They've really been they really don't have things buttoned up from an execution standpoint. I mean, 14 penalties for 96 yards. Now they've never. It's been a while since they've been that bad penalty wise, but they haven't been great in that area a lot of the season, or some of them questionable. I guess yes, you could say that, but it was just bad penalty. I mean, I guess that was part of the reason why the offense sputtered in the second half. They took themselves out of a couple opportunities where it looked like they got some rhythm. I guess what the disheartening part about it to me is like they'd be driving, they put enough string a couple of good plays together, and then they get a penalty, and then it was like, well, then they were done for. Then they were like they never were able to completely recover and get themselves back on track. And to me, they should have enough talent that they should be able to do that. There was a really they got the ball back there in the second half. That they run that nice little play to Dallas Goedert out on the flat that they looked like it had decent yards, and then it came back because of Devontae Smith offensive pass interference, which I think could have gone either way. I think that was a little ticky-tack. They had another play later in the game where it looked like they might be driving finally for a go-ahead score, and Hurts hits Devontae Smith for a nice game. I think it was just outside the 20, and then Fred Johnson gets called for illegal hands to the face. That backs them up. The 3rd and 2 where they look like they might be driving for the go-ahead field goal, and Hurts takes the sack. It's really disheartening to watch this offense just kind of sputter. Like they just when things aren't going well, it's weird to watch them go out of rhythm so easily and really so consistently week after week. I mean, this isn't the first time we've seen them have a pretty decent first half and then just completely sputter. Now, this is the first time that it really cost them in a while. I mean, it happened in the Denver game, but usually they've kind of just have done enough. You think back to the Tampa game, how great they looked in the first half there, and then they did next to nothing, but were able to hang on. And and I think the defense got a little worn down. The injuries started to mount a little bit too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It was almost a tale of two different halves, though, too. I mean, you look at that first half. I don't know how they started getting A.J. Brown in the mix. He was making all kinds of plays. They were passing the ball. They looked good. I mean, they were up, but the 21-0, you thought the game was over. There's a lot of folks out there that said, this game is completely over. Cowboys are not coming back. Up 21-0. Cowboys come all the way back in that second half, 21-21, and then the defense makes that big 4th down stop on the Cowboys, and I thought, okay, this is going to go the good direction again for the Philadelphia Eagles when it was 21-21. They make that killer play at the 4th down play. They get the ball back and nothing. I don't know if it's the play calling on the offensive side with Kevin Patullo, but it just did not look good. They can't keep having these games where the offense starts off the way they did, and then they have nothing in that second half, scoring 0 points. They scored 0 points, JT, in that second half. I mean, I don't know where they go from here. Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it Saquon Barkley in the backfield? Is it a mix of the offensive line now, like you said, with the injuries that are happening with them? I don't know what it is, but I mean, they really did not make any adjustments when things started to go south and the Cowboys started to come back in that game. I mean, Dak Prescott, literally, you don't see him lighting up the Eagles the way he did, but he lit them up in the second half. He really, really did.
Once Adoree Jackson went out and they bring in Michael Carter II. I mean, the only thing he really did was take
up
Quinyon
space.
Mitchell out of the play, and they were able to. Dak was able to hit that big play to Pickens, which ended up setting up the field goal, the game-winning field goal as time expired. And then, Sidney Brown came in for Reed Blankenship when he got banged up. That messed things up because, Blankenship I think is a pretty stabilizing force back there. Right. And then the only thing that Sidney Brown did was he took his own player out as Makumba, the safety. Yep. So now he's out with a fractured ankle. So, I mean, this is. But we talk a lot about the offense sputtering, and again, I really wonder if a lot of people if we're not ignoring the underlying issue, and that's the offensive line.
Yeah.
I think that the offensive line for the Eagles has been so good for so long and so dominant for so long that we kind of take it for granted and just assume that they're doing their job and playing at a top-notch level, and they're just not. Like, I don't think there's anybody on that line that's having as good of a year this year as they did last year. I don't think Jordan Mailata has been the healthiest of the bunch. He's hasn't played well. He's missed some key blocks. Juergens and Dickerson are a shell of what they were last year because they're playing hurt. Yep. Lane Johnson's out, and Fred Johnson isn't as good. And we've talked about this many times on the podcast. Tyler Steen isn't even close to as good as Mekhi Becton was.
Yeah.
And I think that just really hampers them in what they're trying to do offensively, because no matter what they try to do to mask that problem, this offense is designed to get the run game going with some quickness, with some tempo, and then everything else just falls into place. I guess you could say that about a lot of teams, but it really, I think, rings true for the Eagles. And
they're one-sided right now. They're one-sided.
Right, because they can't get that going. Yeah. They're just – and I don't know. I don't know what – I guess the next question is what do they do to fix that? And I don't know that – I don't know what you do to fix that. Unless you just miraculously make these guys on the line healthy and get them, all rowing in the same direction. I don't know that that's going to improve anytime soon.
Yeah, do you think, switching out Saquon Barkley for Will Shipley, putting him in there, and putting in Bigsby, too, in there, is that going to change things? It seems you saw it in the game against the Cowboys. Barkley gets the ball. There is absolutely zero openings in that offensive line for him to run through, and he's back in the backfield pretty much stuck in mud. He's not going to go anywhere because there's no openings in that offensive line for him to run. And you saw it again this past Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know which direction you go. They're going to be one direction from here on out with just a passing game. They're going to throw Jalen Hurts in there every now and then with a quarterback sneak, but the teams are going to pick that up right away. And that's what happened in the second half with Dallas.
Well, they're just going to have to get a little more creative offensively and figure out ways to scheme some of these other guys open, and just, I don't know, just maybe a little bit more tempo. But they got to figure it out.
Do you think it's Kevin Patullo? Do you think it's the offensive play calling?
I think that's part of it. I think there's a lack of. It looks to me, and from everything I'm reading and everything that some of the content I look at on social media with like that all 22 where you get to see everybody on the field at the same time. I think there's a little bit of lack of creativity, but honestly, I think it doesn't look creative because they can't execute the way they wanted to, like they did, or the way they did last year. Right. I think it's pretty much the same offense. I just think because the offensive line is broken down and they can't run the ball, the scheme, they just got to come up with different schemes, and I think they believe that they can just do business as usual and they'll figure it out, but so far they haven't, and we'll see if they can figure it out. They got the Bears coming up on Black Friday. Should be a good game. Actually, right now it would be for the number 2 seed in the NFC because the Rams are now 9-2. They would be the top seed of the playoffs for to start. Obviously, a lot of football still to play, but it's a pretty big game. They're in front of a home crowd, and boy, you really hope they can turn it around. Now they sputtered earlier in the season when they lost a couple games in a row. They lost those back-to-back games to the Broncos and the Giants. When they were able to get it back on track. Now let's see. Let's hope they can get it back on track, and let's hope that we don't see a repeat of 2023 when they lost that game to the Bills, and then the season was going great. They were 10-1. They lost that game to the Bills, and then I'm sorry, it wasn't to the Bills. It was to the 49ers. They beat the Bills. They lost that game to the 49ers, and then the season, if you remember, that season went downhill. Now they had built up enough wins that they were still able to get into the playoffs, but you remember they had nothing in the tank for that wild card game against the Bucks, and they were out in the first round. And then it led to some big changes, and then you had what you had last year, winning the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I'm anxious to see what happens here on Friday.
Let's not hit the panic button. I mean, I thought for sure, them playing the Lions and the Packers, scoring 26 points in both those games, that it's not time to hit the panic button. They're two good teams, the Packers and the Lions, both good teams that come out with victories against those guys. But the way they just played against Dallas is very concerning. And if you're an Eagles fan right now, I mean, off the field drama, I should say, is that affecting things, where they were calling out Jalen Hurts? Somebody was calling out Jalen Hurts. It got into the media. You got the A.J. Brown thing still going on. That still circulates. He doesn't know how to shut his mouth in the locker room. I mean, are these things now starting to add up a little bit, and that's maybe what's taking place now in that second half of that game? It's going to be interesting to see what they do against Chicago.
I'm a little optimistic that, maybe in front of the home crowd. But again, I know we're kind of lamenting a team here, but at the same time, I guess we got to keep it into perspective. They are 8-3.
Right.
They are in first place. They are 2 ahead of the Cowboys in the loss column. Well, actually, almost 2.5 because the Cowboys still have that tie from that Sunday night game with the Packers earlier in the season. So you got a team that's still in control in first place. But speaking of another team in Pennsylvania that's still in first place, but maybe not quite as in control, are the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have now seen the Baltimore Ravens come all the way back to tie them atop the AFC North. The Steelers had a game effort against a red-hot Chicago Bears team. That was a 31-28 that the Bears hold off the Steelers last Sunday. And, of course, the Ravens, it wasn't pretty, but they were able to beat the Jets 23-10. So now all of a sudden you've got 2 6-5 teams atop the AFC North. I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of that Steelers Bears game. They hung. They played well enough with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. I don't know how much of a difference Aaron Rodgers would have made. They got a defensive score as well, but the Bears are kind of riding that wave right now and finding different ways to win. I don't know if you're a Steelers fan, or what do you think? Do you think you're worried at this point, or do you still feel like they got enough to keep it on track?
Bears just have the Steelers number, man. They haven't beat the Bears since 1995. They're 1-13 against the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
That right?
That's exactly what the Steelers record is when they play them in the Windy City. So I mean, there wasn't much of a steel curtain defense in that game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was more like a plastic defense that they had in that game against Caleb Williams, but. You're taking on the second highest offense in the National Football League, and Pittsburgh didn't have much answers. Mason Rudolph, it's like you mentioned, he played okay. Didn't play enough, didn't play that well to get the job done in that game. He was 24, 31, 171 yards, but in the end, the Bears defense held them and did what they needed to do to get that win in Chicago on Sunday. And Steelers better watch out, man. Baltimore is right on their heels and coming quick, and that AFC North right now is just an interesting division, to say the least, right now.
That 1-15 record, is that just against the Bears in general? Or did you say that was in Chicago?
1-13 against the Bears in Chicago. Last time the Steelers won in Chicago was 1995.
Wow.
I was in 11th grade then. That was a long time ago.
Wow. Well, I guess part of that is they don't play the Bears that often.
Right.
Only in the years that they're crossover with AFC North crossing over with the NFC North. But yeah, I guess we kind of saw this coming, right? We talked about this a little bit before, that, yeah, they got off to the good start, but if you looked ahead that their schedule was going to start to get some teeth to it. They still hadn't played the Ravens yet. They still haven't played the Ravens yet. That comes up in 2 weeks. And now, you knew that the Ravens, A, they were going to get Lamar Jackson back. B, that the schedule was going to get a little favorable for them. They haven't looked that great, though. The Ravens have, but it's been enough to build up some wins here after what were they 1-5? So I guess it's 5 in a row now. And now coming up this weekend. So you got the Ravens are playing the Bengals on Thanksgiving night. That's the third game of the day.
Yep.
And did they talk about it? I swear I heard something about, is Joe Burrow coming back?
I did hear that too.
Yep,
I did hear that as well.
So he could be back for that game.
Let me do the Adam Schefter. Let me check my cell phone. Let me see if I got any text messages confirming that.
You got Schefter's sources?
I just love when he goes to his phone, man. He just puts up that update of like something major that just happened. He gets like a text message from like a GM or something from the NFL. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But we'll see,
I think
man.
You could be a Shefty. You could be a Shefty.
Me? No way, man.
Yeah.
I ain't got those connections. I ain't got those type of connections.
You got connected, just maybe not NFL connections, but you got some connections. But yeah, and then the Steelers got the Bills coming up on Sunday. So and
the Bills haven't been anything spectacular this year either. I mean, that's gonna be a tough game. Now I will say I believe it's in Pittsburgh, so the Steelers have played pretty well at home. It's Pittsburgh's not an easy place to win. Yeah. The Colts found that out a couple of weeks ago. So, we'll see. Yeah. But it very well could be by the end of the weekend. It could be the Ravens all alone in first place, which is then going to set the stage for, in 2 weeks, we finally get our first Ravens-Steelers game of the season. This one's going to be in Baltimore, and then a couple of weeks later, they'll play in Pittsburgh. So. Yeah, I don't think the Steelers' offense played that bad. I mean, they had like 345 total yards in offense, so they didn't play terrible. It was just the Bears' defense is a pretty legit defense in the NFL. So they're just a better team. The Bears are definitely the better team over the Steelers and Steelers Bills. I mean, who are you taking in that game? You gonna take the Steelers?
Steelers. What's the line on that game?
That I don't know. They do not know that.
First off, it's a 4:00 game. The Bills, they have the Bills as -3.5 on the road. So, take that for what you will. The Eagles were a 3-point favorite on Sunday against the Cowboys, and they outright lost the game.
Yeah.
So,
anything can happen in the NFL, man.
Of course, it is interesting that if the line, so the Eagles game last week against the Cowboys, the line opened at -3.5 for the Eagles. It went down to 3, and if the Eagles would have won and kicked the field goal, it would have been a push.
Yeah.
So
talk about a bit. All Jake Elliott's fault. It started with Jake Elliott. Then the 2 fumbles preceded that.
Yeah, there's another thing. I mean, come on, dude. Like
you got one job.
They barely call on him, and
that's right.
Come on, it was a 50-some yard field goal. Like 50 is the new 40 in the NFL.
Yeah,
like you got to boot that through. Now I know Brandon Aubrey, he missed a 51-yarder as well, but I'm watching that game, and all the momentum is in Dallas's favor, and I'm watching that, and I'm like,
could have shifted.
I'm like, it's not. He's not going to make this kick. He's not going to make this kick. You just had that sinking feeling that everything was going the other way, momentum-wise, towards Dallas, and sure enough, it did. But anyway, we'll see.
Did you know in that Eagles game, too, that is the first time in 91 consecutive games where the Eagles were up by 21 points and they lost for the first time in 91 consecutive games that they were leading by 21 points.
So we witnessed history then.
If that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, so you can be like, where were you when the Eagles blew a 21-point lead for the first time in 91 games?
That's not one I want to remember, JT. Not one I want to remember. My phone blew up after that. I lost a lot of bets in that game.
You're not going to put that in the scrapbook?
Nope, I lost a lot of bets in that game. I lost a lot of bets.
You lose a lot of bets. Speaking of losing bets, let's talk about Penn State as they win their second straight.
Woo-hoo! So the Fiesta Bowl.
I texted you on Saturday, so they beat Nebraska 37-10, and I still never got an answer. Does this mean I get another smash burger?
That was on purpose, JT, that you didn't get a message
What's
back. That was on purpose that you didn't get a message back.
Oh, it was maybe it didn't go through.
It was just a silly question, JT. I mean, why would you get another smash burger? They beat another cupcake.
Oh.
I mean, they beat another cupcake in Nebraska. They beat another cupcake. Come on. I mean, I can't believe we're actually even talking about Penn State football still. Can't believe it. I can't believe we're still talking about it.
Nebraska was 7-3. That's not a cupcake. Even if they were, that's not a cupcake.
That's still a cupcake. They didn't beat anybody. They're like Penn State. They're playing these cupcake teams. I mean, hey, solid win, I guess. Katron Allen breaking the rushing record. You know, it's another win in the belt of Terry Smith, you know, into his platform of games. But, I mean, come on. I mean, what does this mean? What does it mean? We talked about this last week. What does it mean for Penn State football? What does it mean?
It means I get another smash burger.
You do not.
That's what it means.
At $10, I'll buy you as many smash burgers as you want.
You said. I think you said it was a rolling bet that it keeps going with every win.
I thought we were talking about Penn State. I thought we were talking about Penn State, not smash burgers.
Well, this is connected to Penn State.
I don't like the direction this is going.
You said it was a silly question. Does that mean it was like silly for me to?
Yes.
Obviously, I would get another smash burger. Is that why it was a silly question?
Do you want to do double or nothing for Rutgers game? You want to do double or nothing? I know
double or nothing.
Rutgers is a terrible team, but I mean, I've already lost multiple bets already. So you want to do double or nothing?
Somebody warned me that
if Rutgers wins, you get 2 smash burger meals. If Penn State wins, the deal is off completely. No
somebody
smash
warned
burger
me that. Yeah, somebody warned me that you might try this, that you might try to pull this stunt. Yeah, they did.
I think I know who warned you too.
Yes. Yeah. So he told me beware of
be very careful
Chase
of what's going to happen
to do
here.
Doing a double or nothing bet.
Let's do it. Come on, double or nothing
against Rutgers, huh?
Against Rutgers. Come on.
Let me look at something. Yeah.
Double or nothing. You don't need to look at anything. You already know the stats. You already know the deal. Final game, they're going to be bowl eligible if they win this next game. All on the line to go to Lebanon High School and play a bowl game. Come on. You know what's on the line.
See, I'm not sure I want to let you off the hook.
I guess they can't play at Lebanon High anyway. The stadium's under renovation.
It is under renovations because it was one of the easiest bets that I've ever made and one of the easiest bets I've ever won. And I don't know if I want to let you off the hook for that.
Double or nothing. So come on, do it.
Let me look at
JT, double or nothing. Come on.
So Penn State, 5-6 Penn State.
I don't care what the odds are. Don't even tell me. I don't
minus 13.5 favorite on the road.
Minus 13.5.
Yes. And Terry Smith.
Seems like a win-win for you, buddy. Seems like a win-win for you. Terry
Smith has been great against the spread since he has taken over as head coach.
That's what happens when you play easy teams, brother. That's what happens when you play easy teams.
Yeah, but they covered. They lost, but they covered against Indiana. They were a double-digit underdog.
They still lost. Still lost. Come on.
Let me
making
think
us better.
that.
What? Let's move on here. Come on.
You're
taking a long time to think about this one. I mean, this is a $10 meal. I mean, I hate to see if we would have put a buffet on this or something, man.
Well, we're betting a buffet.
No, if we would have put a buffet on this, you probably would have taken the next hour to try to figure this one out. This is pretty impressive.
Well, I like to make careful bets. I don't walk into bad bets like you do.
It doesn't matter. Bet's a bet, man. It's all fun. It's all fun.
How about, do you bet that the Flyers are going to have a winning road trip coming up?
Oh, jeez. How does this have to do with Penn State right now?
We've transitioned out of Penn State.
So we're not doing the bet. So the bet's still, I got to get you a smash burger and that's it.
I haven't given you my answer yet.
Do I think the Flyers will have a winning record on the road here coming up?
They've got.
I know.
Now keep in mind, you've already gotten a good head start. It's a 4-game road trip coming up. They're in it started out in Tampa, in which they lost last night 3-0. Now they're going to go to Florida, they're going to go to the Islanders, and then they're going to go to New Jersey. They're already 0-1.
I'm going with no.
Okay, I think I'm going to agree with you.
You're just testing the waters, aren't you? You thought I was going to make another dumb bet.
I thought maybe I could walk you into that.
No,
I shouldn't have told you that they lost to Tampa because I don't think you knew that.
I didn't know that. I did. I watched the game last night.
Okay.
Up until like the second period, until it was like such a dull game that I couldn't even watch it anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What did you think? I thought it was one of the most boring games I've watched all year.
Yeah, there was just no oomph to it. I mean, wasn't a whole lot of hitting, wasn't a whole lot of offense in that game. Flyers didn't get a whole lot going from their major lines, especially in their top line. They got nothing done in there, and being shut out for the first time, and it was just an absolute boring game. There was just no juice in that game at all.
I think part of that is John Cooper's system. I think that's kind of the way they play now. Because I mean, I think Flyers aside, I think John Cooper is a fantastic coach.
Yeah, he is.
If you think about all the now they still have some of the guys left from that core that won back-to-back cups in 2020 and 2021.
Yep.
But they've had a lot of turnover. They've lost a lot of pieces from that team. And he still keeps them at or near the top of the division every year. They haven't made as many deep playoff runs, but they're always right there in the mix. But yeah, I guess I was a little, I was cautiously optimistic after the Flyers got those wins over the Blues, and they looked really good on Saturday night against the Devils. They scored 3 goals in 26 seconds.
2 big wins.
3 consecutive shots. Yeah. But they're just not ready yet, I don't think, to go on the road and beat a team like Tampa. And we'll see.
There wasn't a whole lot of juice from any team either. I mean, the top line from Tampa was the one that basically defeated the Philadelphia Flyers in that game last night, but there wasn't a whole lot of juice in that game at all. And it's like you just mentioned. I mean, coming off the win against the Devils, man, that was. Did you see any of that Devils Flyers game? The opening of it when they honored Bernie Perrant and put his helmet on
that was pretty cool.
Oh man, that was pretty emotional stuff when they put the helmet on the actual net there before the game started. That was pretty cool to see. It really was.
Yeah, I guess except for that, every now and then I guess the Flyers kind of go crazy like they did against the Devils. But you talked about no offensive juice. That's kind of like watching the Flyers in general.
It was last year.
I mean, kind of, they're kind of just. I mean, I think they play hard. You know what I mean? I think they, there's definitely a little bit of talent there, but it's not enough. And it's, I mean, you see what happens when they, depending on who they're matched up against. I mean, they really don't get anything going.
Yeah, and the forechecking last night was non-existent for the Flyers too. I mean, the top line made a couple of mistakes on that top line that the Flyers have, and they just never really got anything going in that game at all. I mean, it's a tale of 2 to 3 different games.
Yeah, I watch a lot of games, and I'm like, they play a system like they're in it, like they hang around a lot. I mean, it is rare that they've gotten just, blown out of the building. I mean, it did happen. They did lose pretty handily in Dallas. There might have been another one earlier in the year too, where they just clearly didn't have it. So for the most part, even when they lose, they hang around. But like you said, watching that game, even like last night, I think it was 2-0 after the second period, and you're like,
this isn't even worth watching.
They're not gonna win this game.
It's not worth watching. They got the Sixers syndrome, JT. Sixers syndrome. They stick around, want to play comeback.
Yeah,
that's what they got. They got the Sixers syndrome.
Yeah, well, we'll get to those fellas here in just a little bit. So the Caps seem to have found their groove a little bit. We've talked about their up and down season. They went through a little bit of a dry spell, but now they've won 4 of their last 5, and they've really been revving it up offensively lately. They get the 5-1 win Monday night against the Blue Jackets. They had a 7-goal outburst in there. I think they had a game where I think they beat the Canadians 8-4.
8-4. Yep.
8-4 recently. Last night, you and I have talked a lot about the strength of this team is that they have a really good, steady blue line and really good goaltending with Logan Thompson But Charlie Lindgren's not bad either. I mean, he does a good job. So and last night, I think Carlson had a goal. Jacob Chikrin had 2 goals. Fervari had a goal. So
Defensive
the defensemen obviously, obviously the defensemen are chipping in offensively as well. Ovechkin seems like he's gotten it going. Tom Wilson is always kind of in the mix, and they're kind of riding these up and down waves a little bit, and it's funny. Last week we're talking about they're near the bottom of the division, and now they're kind of up again. But again, it seems like it's taken a while for the pack to separate in the Metro division. I think the entire division
separated
is from
by 6
top
points.
to bottom.
6 points.
6 points exactly,
or less.
And that's feeling pretty decent about the Flyers. After that brief homestand where they got up to 4th, and they get a bad road trip here, and they're probably right down at the bottom again. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it'll take. Who knows? Maybe it'll take till the new year till we start to see some separation. I think if I had to pick someone, I would say Carolina's probably a notch above everybody else.
They're a pretty consistent team. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see with the Devils. They seem to, when Jack Hughes goes out, they seem to fall apart a little bit. They did get a win last night over Detroit.
Seems like a lot of those core players, though, for the Caps, too, are starting to find their rhythm. I mean, Wilson's had an incredible year. Carlson continues to be Mr. Steady Eddie out there. Chikrin's been incredible this season. Now Ryan Leonard is starting to tick a little bit. Like you said, Ovechkin's getting there. I don't think Ovechkin's quite where he was last year at all. The goaltending has been the main factor this year, and now all of a sudden some of those core guys, Protas is starting to tick a little bit. Ethan Frank, I was watching him the other night too. He had a couple shots on goal. Maybe he's starting to get clicking a little bit too, but a lot of those guys that are on that squad for the Capitals, it seems like those are the guys that need to get to where they're getting to in the season, and then they're slowly getting there. They're not there fully yet, but they're certainly starting to click here the past couple of games, and it's good to see in Washington, but just hope they don't start going the opposite direction here.
Yeah, I think Ethan Frank has been a little banged up, in the early part of the year. But he's back now. Maybe he seems like he's getting healthy and starting to contribute a little more.
Gawi hasn't even mentioned Hendrix Lapierre, too. Yeah, I think he had an assist last night, too. I mean, that's a guy that hasn't been doing much this year at all.
Right. And Alexei Protas has been terrific for them. I mean, he's, there's a guy that was down in Hershey. They did a great job developing him, and I think he's everything they could have hoped for. He's to me, he's there to stay, right? I don't ever foresee. So. Yeah. I wouldn't foresee him unless something really goes south. I wouldn't foresee him ever coming back down to Hershey. I think he's pretty much going to be a mainstay up there.
Connor McMichael too. He's another guy that's maybe starting to click a little bit. But
I like what they have. I think they should stay in the mix. Another team that we haven't talked about much yet are the Penguins. They're staying in the mix now. They've lost 5 of their last 6.
Bad games,
but they had they got off to such a great start. They've had a little bit of runway where they're not buried. And again, nobody has separated themselves yet, so they're still right in the mix of things. And and again, we've talked about this. The theme, the underlying theme here for the Penguins is that they're going to go as far as Crosby and Malkin are going to take them. It seems like.
Yeah.
They don't. I guess Brian Rust is day to day now, and I guess that's the one thing that you and I've talked about before about the pitfall maybe for them is that it's an aging core of veterans, and if those guys, if Malkin and Crosby and Letang and Erik Karlsson and Brian Rust, if they start to get banged up, then you might start seeing some diminishing returns. But again, it hasn't happened yet, despite the fact that, they are dealing with their share of injuries. We've talked about them, on the pod before. Noel Chari is out. Tristan Jarry's out. Ricard Raquel, he's out. Rust is day to day now. But they've been able to do enough. But it seems like, we wondered if they were for real. Maybe this stretch, maybe they're starting to kind of level off a little bit. I think we're not. I think once we get through the holidays, maybe we get to the new year. I think we'll maybe have a clearer picture as to where some of these teams slot. We were, obviously we were just talking about the Flyers, and they've got what'll be interesting about them is they're on this 4-game road trip, which we've been talking about. Then they come home for like a 6-game homestand, and then after that, it's like 9 out of 10 on the road.
Yeah, back out on the road.
So we'll see. We'll get a sense, kind of really what kind of team the Flyers are. So
well, the Penguins, man. Even back to the Penguins though. Even Friday night, did you watch any of that game against Minnesota when they got shut out 5-0?
Was that the 5-0 game?
Gosh,
yeah.
No, I didn't. It was just an
that.
embarrassing game. I mean, they replaced. They put Murashov in. He only gave up 1 goal in net, but by then it was 4-0 in that game, and there was absolutely zero momentum in that game against Minnesota on Friday night. Then coming out losing to the Kraken in overtime. Crosby, 6th player in NHL history to reach 500 multi-point games in that with a goal and an assist in that game. But it's like you said, they've lost 5 of 6 now. The Pittsburgh Penguins have, and they seem to be slowly dropping, and maybe injuries is starting to take a toll now on them.
So was it Seeloff? So was he the starter? And
then he was the starter in that Minnesota game. Yep, he was the starter in the Minnesota game. Yep, and they pulled him, but by then it was 4-0. There was absolutely zero momentum in that game. I mean, by the second period, the game was pretty much over. I mean, you could say it was over in the first period. To be quite honest with you, I mean, it was 3-0 the end of the first period, and then they scored another goal in the second period there, and to make it 4-0. And Pittsburgh had zero offense in that first period alone in that Minnesota game. So it's like you said, if Malkin and Crosby aren't ticking, either are the Penguins.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe the workload for Seelovs is catching up a little bit. Yeah, I mean I think he's better when he's in tandem with Jari, and so I think once, hopefully they get him back. If they get him back sooner than later, I think that'll help a little bit. Let's touch a little bit about on the Hershey Bears. We were going to do a bonus pod with Zach Fish, the radio play-by-play voice of the Bears. He's a little under the weather, so we're gonna do that a little. We're gonna do that at a later date. So Zach, get well soon.
Yep. Wishing you the best, man. Yep.
So they come back. They had a road split with the Monsters this past week. They get the 5-2 win up in Cleveland. That was last Thursday night, and then they lose 5-3 in Cleveland on Saturday night. Overall though, I mean, I think they're 6-2 on the road. They're pretty. They're pretty comfortable on the road. But now I think this is a real nice stretch for them coming up to see what they've got. They've, the Baby Pens are in first place now. They've overtaken Providence for top spot in the Atlantic Division, and they've got them for 2 coming up this week. They've got the 1 tomorrow night, the annual Thanksgiving Eve game at Giant Center. They've got
turkey shoot,
the Penguin,
the turkey shoot. Shoot for your turkey.
Have you ever done that?
We have done it. I haven't come close. Minnie Hopper's actually come closer than I have. Shooting the puck. Yes.
Minnie Hopper almost won you a turkey, huh?
It might change tomorrow night at that game, but we'll see. My accuracy with a hockey stick is not that good.
So you'll be there tomorrow night?
Yes, we will be. Yes.
Okay. And you'll do it? You're going to do the turkey
might.
shoot?
Yeah, we might stick around.
Okay.
Yeah, I might stick around.
How do you enter that? Do you just go down if you want to do it?
Just go down in the ice. Yeah, I got people line up as soon as the third period ends. Put up a bunch of nets. Have a couple of the youth hockey players down there fetching the pucks and stuff, but it's pretty cool. I mean, you get one crack at it, man. So if you it's do or die, man. When you're shooting that puck down that ice, you better not make a fool of yourself. But there's been plenty of time I couldn't even hit if you hit the board, I think you get like a free soda or a candy bar if you actually hit the board. But I haven't been close. Minnie Hopper, she was definitely closer than I was in previous years. So
you know what? Speaking of hitting the board, you know what I miss? I went to a couple games last year, and I know it hasn't been around for a while, but when you used to try to win a car,
Scoro, yeah, it was Scoro.
Yeah, is that what it was called? Yeah, I missed that. I was.
Where you win $1,000 too. They throw in cash sometimes too, but yeah, they haven't done that for a number of years up there. That was always a good time with squirrel.
I mean, I mean, I always equate that going to a game in my youth at Hershey Park Arena.
Yeah.
I know they still did it for a while when they moved over to Giant Center, but yeah, I always thought that. I always sat in my seat. I always thought that was a cool thing to watch. I never saw anybody win one.
Yeah, neither have I. Turkey shoot's a pretty fun event. I mean, they're going to do that tomorrow night. Then I think they do a ham shoot for Christmas, shoot for a ham. But they got all the turkeys there, man. You walk if you get that in the hole, you walk home with a turkey, man. You do walk home with a turkey. Pretty cool. So it is a pretty cool event.
You know what? I mean this. You're the best turkey I know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been called worse.
So yeah,
I've been called
worse. They got the baby pens again on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears took a lot of penalties in the last game they played against Cleveland, but you're starting to see a lot of the same guys adding to the scoring for the Hershey Bears this year. It's the line of the Protus. You got even Trinyev. He's been really good. Miroshnichenko, and now that he's back, he's starting to click with the Bears now, too. So we'll see. I mean, they did add Garrett Pike from Colorado. We'll see how he comes into the mix and changes things up again. You get Andrew Crystal, who's still playing lights out this season, but
yeah, he's looked pretty good.
They're getting there, man. They're still turning the puck over a little bit too much, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, I think the Bears are well above where I think people would have thought where they would be right now in the season. I mean, they're well above 500, and they're starting to click on all cylinders, I think, and starting to really believe into Derek King's system now.
What I read earlier in the season about, they were ranking, ESPN was ranking the top farm systems in the league, and the Caps were in the top 10.
Right.
And they talked a lot. Obviously, the first name they talked about was Ryan Leonard, who's already up. He's up there to stay with Washington. But they mentioned Ilya Protas, and they mentioned Andrew Crystal as two guys that they were, really high on. And obviously, I think that's bared out here over the early part of the season.
They got a young team, and they're going to be changing the lines probably constantly up there in Hershey, but. For the most part, you're seeing the same guys pretty much score night in and night out. Gucciardi, he finally stepped in and I believe got an assist the other night when then Cleveland jumped out to the 3-0 lead. They came back a little bit, but they did take a lot of penalties in that last game, and Derek King wasn't happy about that with the way they played and took the penalties that they did take in that game. But I think they're doing all right. I mean, you watch them, and they are a fun team to watch now. I mean, they weren't at the beginning of the season, but they found a rhythm now with the young guys and mixing in some of those veteran players now. And goaltending again, man, has been keeping him in some of those games.
Bjorklund's done well as well. So I'm again, I'm anxious to see how they look coming out of the weekend. The baby pens tomorrow night. Baby Pens against Saturday night, and then the North Division leading Laval Rocket come in on Sunday afternoon. And this is all going to kick off, I believe it's a 9-game homestand?
Yeah, they're home until December 20th. They are home until, so won't be home for the Christmas holiday because they head out on the road then, but we'll see. I mean, I think with the young team, and I think you'll agree. I mean, with the young team they do have, you're going to have these ups and downs throughout the season. Some of these games where they're going to sputter and do things they shouldn't be doing, but for the most part, they got a winning record. They're on track, and they're a fun team to watch up there in Hershey. So we'll see. And like you said, we'll have Zach Fish on here to discuss it more and get into more depth about the Bears, but they're playing pretty decent hockey here of late.
Yeah, certainly look forward to chatting with Zach here at a later date. Speaking of fun to watch.
Hey, we never went back to Penn State. We never even talked about Penn State football. Do you realize that in this pod? You were too worried about the smash burger. We didn't even really talk about Penn State. For 30 seconds, I think we talked about Penn State.
Well, they beat Nebraska 37-10, and they got me another smash burger.
Yeah, he just went right off course.
And they're 5-6. They
So you're not taking my bet. Is that the final answer? You're not taking a double or nothing bet?
You don't listen to me. Listen to me. You get my answer when I give you my answer.
Ouch, man. You are in charge of the podcast this week.
I will say, all kidding aside, the offense has looked a little crisper.
Penn State, yeah. Oh yeah.
With Terry Smith, maybe a little less gimmicky. I don't know. I don't know if that. I could be off base on that. Katron Allen's running with a purpose. I think I can't remember if I talked about this with you or with my text bros, but it seems like Nick Singleton is better in the secondary role and Katron Allen's better in the lead role.
Yeah.
And for the longest time and for most of the early part of the season,
it was reversed.
Those roles were reversed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And once they committed the other way around, because like Singleton has looked better now. Like Singleton comes in as that change of pace guy, and I think it works. They're getting some more stuff down the field a little bit. They're not hitting guys over the top, but it looks like they at least try to stretch the field a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it took pressure off Singleton too. Not being that lead guy.
It could have. Yeah, I mean, they just and I'm sure there was a little extra juice because it was senior day. Nebraska, boy, I tell you what, they looked completely outclassed.
Yeah,
I can't. I mean, I'm looking at that game and I'm thinking, my goodness. I mean, thank goodness Matt Rule signed that extension.
Who wants Matt Rule at Penn State now, huh? Come and talk to me. Who wants Matt Rule as the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions after watching that game? Who wants him?
That was a name that was floating out there before Franklin even got fired.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because of his history with Pat Kraft.
Yep.
But my goodness.
So who do they give this coaching position to? Do they give Terry Smith a shot at this thing or what?
Well, that was going to be my question to you. But then
I don't have any answers.
You didn't want to talk about Penn State. You wanted to talk about smash burgers. So you.
That was you, buddy. That was my attempt to gaslight you.
That's right. Trying to turn the tables.
Lit it up, buddy. Lit it up. But I don't know, man. I was just talking about this earlier. To be quite honest with you, I was just talking at work earlier about this. I mean, if they do give Terry Smith the job, and Terry Smith comes in, he still can't beat the big schools. You don't want to see that happen with Terry Smith. As good of a dude as he seems to be, Terry Smith, and the loyalty he has to that university. I mean, what if if they do give him the coaching job, he can't get the job done? Eventually, he's going to be fired and relieved of his duties. You don't want to see that happening to a guy like Terry Smith. So if I'm Terry Smith personally, I take my name out of that mix, and Would be happy with just being an assistant coach at Penn State. Let somebody else have that.
I think if he was offered the job, I think he would like the job. To be honest,
yeah,
with
but you don't want to see him go down that same road as Franklin, man. You don't want to see him go down that road.
I'm telling you, I think he wants the job. I don't think they should give him the job. I know there's been a lot of buzz and a lot of organic support for Terry Smith to be the head coach.
With the signs,
the hire Terry Smith stuff. But again, those are seniors that aren't going to be there anymore, and you probably got all these guys that are going to be leaving anyway.
Do they have to make this decision before? What if they win against Rutgers? Okay, they win against Rutgers. They're bowl eligible, and they still haven't made a decision on who the coach is going to be. Do you see players leaving because they haven't made a decision yet, or should they make that decision before even the Rutgers game here?
Well, I think I think it's December. I think it's not official. The transfer portal, you don't officially declare, or it doesn't open until January. But I mean, more times than not, stuff starts to leak on social media.
Yeah,
you start to see guys put stuff out. Guys start putting stuff out there. I mean,
how long do they let this keep going? They got to make a decision.
It's hard to say. Especially with this bowl game. If they have this bowl game, do you start to see guys that are going to go into the draft start to opt out? That's kind of the way college football is nowadays.
And you got to think now too. I mean, Pat Kraft firing James Franklin, right decision? Totally. Do I think it was the right decision? Absolutely. But did he have a plan in place before making that fire? It doesn't seem like he did. Doesn't seem like they did.
I'm starting to wonder if he did or not. I was assuming that he did, but I don't know. I mean, he could be keeping it close to the vest. We don't know yet for sure, but isn't this where you come in, Shefty? Don't you have some sources?
Yeah, let me check the text.
Just do me a favor. Look down at your phone. There you go.
Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing. There ain't nothing.
No. You don't say you got nothing. You play the part. You just look at your phone.
John Toscano will be taking over as the next Penn State football coach. Assistant coach will be Artie Schultz, it looks like.
We're screwed.
Another losing season's right around the corner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know what direction they're going to go. I mean, this has gone on way too long for a Division I major football school to not have a head football coach lined up after firing James Franklin. Then they got to make a decision within the next week, I would think. That's my opinion.
Here's what I do know. If Artie's my right-hand man, we're screwed.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
We're in bad shape. But, hey, look at it this way. Penn State, at least the last 2 weeks, has been fun to watch.
Yeah, they have.
And if it, I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's going to mean a bowl game or whatever. Got another question for you. Are the Sixers fun to watch?
I think they are. I mean, it depends on what you classify as fun. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they are the comeback kids. They really are. That's the way they've been. They're getting into a lot of injuries now. Edgecombe's hurt. Now he's not going to be playing tonight on that. I guess Joel Embiid is questionable for the game tonight, but
he's already out. In fact, just before we started recording this, I looked. He went from questionable to out, and then Paul George was already planned to be out because that's what they're doing with Paul George now. I looked this up as I was prepping last night. So back on November 8th, they had a 10-point win at home against the Raptors.
Yep.
And ever since then, over the last 8 games, they've alternated wins and losses. So they went win, then they lost, win, loss. So I guess. So they lost on Sunday against the Heat. So I guess so as we're recording this, they're playing the Magic tonight at home in a NBA Cup game. By the way, I'm having
two back-to-back NBA Cup games coming up.
Yeah, so I'm also in case you're not doing anything, I'm having a huge watch party for the NBA Cup tonight. So we'll have hors d'oeuvres and everything.
What should I bring? Some wings or what? What do we bring?
If you could bring something. No, we're going to save that for another time. But if you could, I don't know, if you could bring like a charcuterie board, maybe some pepper jack cheese or something.
I can't even spell charcuterie, much less bring one. I mean,
that would be fit. So yeah, I thought we'd have some people over and watch the NBA Cup because it's a huge deal. But
I think I got other plans.
No, but they don't really have like. It's like if Maxey doesn't go off, they don't really have a Robin. Like he's the Batman. There's no Robin.
You got Edge. I'm surprised that Edgecombe has not performed better in the last couple of games as he has from the start. I mean, I don't know what was missing there he started off on fire. He's kind of tailed off and maybe showing his side of being that rookie on the team. But I mean, a lot of those guys, we talk about them week in and week out. Quentin Grimes, I can't speak enough for Quentin Grimes. That guy coming off the bench there sometimes and performing the way he does not back down from anybody. Takes the hard licks when he's driving the lane there too. Edwards has been fairly decent, but Maxey's scoring 30, 40 points and playing what he played the other night, 40 minutes too.
Yeah,
that can't last.
I think the problem, right, and that's something that we've touched on before. I mean, his usage is just out of, he's going to break down. I think maybe the problem is they're maybe just a little too guard heavy, and they don't have enough forwards that can make a difference. And it's at times maybe any forwards that can make a difference. Kelly Oubre's out right now, so that's certainly not helping.
That's hurting him big time, I think.
Paul George isn't. He is what he is. Embiid, you're never sure. When's he going to play again?
Watford's had a couple good games, but I mean, those guys ain't scored 20, 30 points like Maxey is.
Right. And that's a good point. I think the forwards that they do have are more kind of like role player guys like Watford and Dominic Barlow. Andre Drummond can do a little bit. Justin Edwards, he's another guy. Some nights he has it, other nights he doesn't. I think kind of, the Sixers were one of 2 teams early in the season that were undefeated. They were like 4-0. The Bulls were 4-0. And both of those teams are both like a game above 500. And I think you kind of see that they've sort of regressed back to maybe a little bit more of what they truly are. So I don't know. I was curious. We were really gung ho, and I think they kind of leveled off. But
yeah, and the Heat are a fast team. I mean, Heat are a fast team. They're a high scoring team as well. Points in the paint, I think, was 72 to 52 in that game. Heat and Sixers. So I think we're going to see this all year long, where the Sixers just they get a lead, they lose a lead, they come back, and I mean that's just the way it's been all season long. And they don't have people that are consistent night in, night out. Outside of Tyrese Maxey.
Again, they are scrappy. I think they do play hard for Nick Nurse, and they the times they'll defend well. They had that tough loss to the what game was that? Where it was a back-to-back. They lost the night before. Oh, they lost. That's right. Last week they had that. They lost at home to the Raptors by 9. Then the next night, though, they won in overtime at Milwaukee. Now Milwaukee's without Giannis right now, so that helped. And then
that's the night Maxey had 54.
That he had 54 that night. They won that game in overtime. But and again, then they couldn't keep the momentum going when they lost. They just ran out of gas in the fourth quarter against the Heat. So we'll see what happens tonight against the Magic. But so if you want to, around 6:30 is when people start coming over. I'll have the hors d'oeuvres set up. Maybe a little shrimp cocktail for. It's going to be an NBA Cup Tuesday over at our house.
I think Dodgeball Championship is on ESPN Ocho tonight. I think I'll watch that.
The Ocho, the Ocho show, and
the Dodgeball tournament.
Maybe some cornhole a little bit too. If the game gets boring,
nothing beats people just beating people in the head with one of those rubber. They don't have the rubber balls like we had in school that just pretty much left marks. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty fun to watch dodgeball if you ever watch it on ESPN. The Ocho, the 8.
What? Let me put you on the spot. What are the 5 Ds in dodgeball?
Oh, dodge. Oh God, I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I have not watched it.
Is it dodge,
defend, duck.
No, dodge, duck, dive, and then dodge is like the dodge is in there twice.
I just like when he throws the wrench.
Yeah,
at his head.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
He doesn't throw the wrench at his head. He throws it in the groin, doesn't he? In that movie?
I thought he threw it at his head.
It's either the head or the groin.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Are you ready? Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Dip. Yeah, I forgot about dip. Yeah,
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge are the 5 Ds of dodge.
From the old guy. What was his name?
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah, Patches.
Played by the late great Rip Torn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a classic.
What a movie. Yeah, what a movie. What a movie.
On that note, I think it is time to say goodbye, my friend.
That was a rough one. That was a rough one.
So want to wish everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Chase, you, Lynette, Tenley, happy Thanksgiving to the whole family.
Happy Turkey Day, buddy. But what about the double or nothing? We never got the double or nothing. I mean, aren't we going to end on that note?
I'll give you my answer.
What's the answer?
I'll give you my answer.
Schefter's calling. Tell Schefter to hold on.
You know what that is? That's a look at this. That's a spam call. I should answer this while I'm on the pod.
You should.
I should.
Makes for good entertainment. We get more viewers, man. More subscribers.
The next time we get a call on the pod, a spam call, I'm going to answer it live.
So I put my phone on silent.
On speaker.
Put mine on silent.
I actually thought I had mine on silent.
Yeah,
I tell you what. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there.
Yep.
And okay, so you want to know?
Double or nothing?
Oh, you want double or nothing? You want to know
double
or
bet? Nothing?
You'll get the answer to that on the next episode.
Oh no!
See ya, everyone. See ya. Happy Thanksgiving. Like, share, and subscribe.